Hello, everyone. This is a new series that I'm starting where I will have professionals from our industry, whether it's real estate, lawyers, mortgage professionals, broker owners, who will come share their insight, give us some valuable information as to how they run their business, how they've made it to the top, what are some tips and tricks that will help us as common people to grow and be secure at the same time. So that is the whole intent of this. And today I have Gurpreet, a co-founder at Sabio Law, who's been practicing, and it's an honor. Hello, Gurpreet ji. It's such a pleasure having you here with us, and it's over to you.
Hi, Sunny. How are you? Thank you so much
Eh,
for inviting us. It's a pleasure to see that uh, the way you're trying to keep your audience informed and to be part of the journey. So thank you so much.
It's a pleasure. Tell us about yourself, your journey, how you founded Sabio, your law career, and so on and so forth. So the clients know where the source is, or where are they getting this valuable information
Yeah.
from.
So I'm obviously, as you've introduced, I'm a lawyer. So between me and my partner Kumar Kohli, we formed this law firm, Sabio Law LLP. Uh, I was called to the bar in India, Delhi, and I worked there for around 10 years before immigrating to Canada. I've been kind of in the legal industry from last 5 years in Canada. So in total, the we I bring around 15 years of my experience on the table, and also obviously my partner, who's also a real estate lawyer. He does a lot of transactions as well. So among both of us, we offer a unique mix of both experience in both transactions and litigation, because I do a lot of commercial and real estate litigation. So that's what we bring on the table, and that's who we are. And whatever answers or whatever information I'll be sharing today would be out of our experience. We have seen the market switching, kind of shifting from uh, bad, good, very bad, very good. So I think it'll be an interesting conversation.
I so appreciate you and your time, and of course, Kuvar. I've met the both of you, done a lot of business with the past year and a half that I've
Yeah.
known you. So I personally endorse Sabio Law, and all my deals that I've all of whatever business that I've been doing, they've been looking after my clients, and all to good results. All my clients have been very happy.
Thank
They
you.
the fee structure, which is also very important. They've been very reasonable based on the services, based on what is provided is done in a timely manner. So I appreciate that.
Yeah.
Uh,
Another point of view, just wanted to add, like at this point, we've started 2023 at a position where we are focusing only on real estate. So going forward, will be a full service real estate law firm where we'll be offering transaction litigation and a little bit more on land development. But yes, so that's what our focus is, and that's thank you so much for helping us kind of in our
it's
journey.
a it's a pleasure.
Thank you.
Now, going back to what's happening today,
Mhm.
how does a real estate lawyer fit into the real estate market? Uh, what is the importance? Why somebody like me, let's say I'm not an agent, I'm a layman who's considering buying or selling real estate. Why should I connect with a strong real estate lawyer?
I think now more than ever, it's and we have seen what's the relevance of the contract is. Specifically, like this is real estate is considered to be one of the biggest investment any human or any let's talk about specifically for with immigrants as well in Canada. That will be the first biggest investment people will do in Canada, and the agreement is kind of I realtors prepare it, there's a condition to it, but before you firm it up, it is very important that a real estate lawyer reviews it, so that if there is anything specifically for that property, or there is we can customize it. it is very important, and it is more important these days where buyers have some say, and they can actually present a contract which is supporting their needs and requirement, rather than kind of just coming to the market like it was happening in 2021 and 2022. uh, Another most important factor is the title search. Title this is something which happens at the behind the scenes, where we search the title of the property and make sure that the sellers are giving clean title and the buyers are getting clean title of the property. If there is any, even for sellers, like, it is very important for them to give a clean title to avoid any after closing liability that may come with it.
I can't agree with you more because recently there was a case in Toronto where the actual owners of the house were away and the title was somebody acted like the homeowners and the property got sold, believe it or not, in today's time. So it's quintessential to deal with a professional who do this and only this, nothing else, to
And
protect.
just to, sorry to cut you there, but I think another important factor is to identifying the client as per law society rules. So there are softwares, there are ways, even in this virtual world, where we can actually identify the clients and see whether they are the same people as per the government records or not.
uh,
When this will and it's and that's where all of this kind of what has happened in Toronto, that's the biggest thing people could have kind of actually saved. Why, if the lawyer and the realtor and everybody like yourself, like, if somebody is more diligent, they'll identify the client, they can work with them, they know that who these people are. It's the diligence of the professionals who make things happen properly.
Exactly. It is a teamwork where an agent is involved and a lawyer is involved on both sides, buying and selling, but due diligence is quintessential. I get this question a lot, why FinTrack? Why am I being asked for identification? And this is the reason, to make sure that the common interest is protected. We are
Yeah.
all invested in the same cause to do a transaction in the right way. So, somebody's hard earned money is put to the right use if somebody is buying or
Yes.
selling.
And
And of
also the
course,
reputation of the professionals, it's very important. Like, the first question people raised were, what were the realtors and lawyers doing in the transaction? And it's very important that, like you have mentioned, that you identify your clients. We make sure that we identify even them, even though we are meeting them virtually. We make sure that we take their IDs and put it in a system to see whether these are the same people or not.
that makes sense. Now, you mentioned you've seen this law world about 15 years. That is a lifetime to me. What has changed? What are your takeaways, or what would you suggest the common person? What have you seen in this journey?
I think the most important is, and it's same in both India and Canada. My journey in Canada is a bit shorter, but I think the people remain the same. Uh, these are more, even though you're buying your home for yourself and you're going to live in it, it's more of a financial and business decision than an emotional decision. So make those decisions wisely. Don't let your emotions rule over your finances. uh, for example, pre-approvals. It's very important for any buyer to get a pre-approval from a mortgage broker or from a bank before putting the offer, rather than kind of once the offer is firm and is done, and then you come back to a lawyer or a realtor asking about how to get out of the deal. So all of these are emotional decisions, and not, so take it as a business decision and a financial decision rather than an emotional decision.
Agreed. And we, as agents, face this on a day-to-day basis. Why are you not showing me properties first? Why are you asking me to go to a mortgage professional? The
Yes.
reason a strong agent would say that is to make sure that we take time out, and we are here, we are public servants, we are here, we make our bread and butter by serving customers. uh, but the whole emphasis on approval is to make sure that we are showing you something that you can actually buy and buy
Yes.
safely and benefit from that transaction, like you said. So,
Exactly.
so that is very, very important. Um, Now, the foreign ban, that has been in the news. How do you see it? How do you see the situation where foreigners would not be allowed to buy property in Canada? Would you see this to be beneficial for Canadians or no? What is your take?
I believe, and I've gone through the act. The act is known as Prohibition on the Purchase of Residential Property by Non-Canadian Act. So the act itself says a lot of things. It's a residential property and not commercial one. Second, there is a prohibition. It's not a it's kind of marketed as a ban, but if you read the act, it says it is prohibited, and it's not the foreign buyers who will be convicted or who will be facing consequences. It's the professionals like yourself and me who will be kind of assisting such foreign purchase helping foreign buyers to purchase residential properties in Canada. They'll be convicted, and so that basically it's a ban, but it's an indirect ban. One second, it is vital because I see a lot of people before even entering Canada, they were buying homes, and it's a tricky question, but still the ban, and I just want to kind of limit my answer to a legal consequence. The ban is up to single unit residential, up to five unit multi unit residential property. Anything beyond 6 units or a commercial property, the ban is not there, and the act says it itself. So, uh, and we'll see whether the kind of the act has to go through the test of time to see whether it's good for the market or not. But yeah,
Interesting that we, as common people, assume that once it's a ban, foreign national can't be purchasing property in Canada, and that's the extent to that. But there is always, law is such elaborate, and it will, like you said, have to go through the test of time to see how it is. But I was personally, I am in the thick and thin of things, and I never knew that it was up to 5 units, and anything beyond that they may be available, or there could be a loophole where sixplex may be available for purchase. So commercial is something that somebody can still put their foreign interest in. That's
yes,
interesting.
yeah.
Uh, wow. Uh, One more thing, that you've me done business or acted or spoken in several locations is pre-construction deals, and lawyers play a very, very important role. And of course, you've been my go-to source, whether it's my personal portfolio or my clients, getting the contract read by you thoroughly so you can advise a few things. What is the importance? What are a few things that you check in a pre-construction contract, let's say from the builder? Please let my audience know as to why reach out to a lawyer in the cooling period before your contract becomes firm.
Yes, so cooling period is only available for condominiums. So where a property is registered under the Condominium Act, the act applies for the cooling requires the condo corporation to give you 10 days of cooling period. That's where you have the cooling period. Otherwise, it's on builder's discretion whether they give you a cooling period or not. Sometimes you can ask the builder, and this is the time when buyers can actually negotiate with everybody, and they can tell the buyers that they can tell the builders that if they can give a copy of a contract, of a standard contract, and they'll get it reviewed by a lawyer before signing it. It adds a lot of value. Most of the things which we see in the contract is the levies, whether those are capped or not, whether there'll
Right,
be an occupancy permit, whether the client, an investor who's buying this for renting purposes, whether they'll be allowed to rent the property during the occupancy period or not,
right,
because the builder will be taking some money from you regarding in that period, and you don't want to pay that money from your pocket if you're an investor. and
right.
and another important factor is HST, which we have a limited knowledge of because it's more of an accountant question.
Makes
But
sense.
all of those also, like some builders, the tentative dates no, most of the people don't know that Tarion, if the builder kind of goes beyond two tentative dates, the builder and they've given a firm date and they don't close, the builder has some consequences as per the Tarion Act and Tarion kind of the document they sign. So all of these are important considerations before you sign. Price is very important, which remains the prime importance, that how much you're getting the property for. But then there is closing cost, which for builders, for pre-constructions, we consider the closing cost to be a little bit higher because there are transaction levies, there are levies, and then there are the charges for the meters and the other development charges, which some builders cap, some they don't. If they don't, I think you've read the news as well. Like in earlier last year, there was this Brampton property which the builder kind of charged 27,000 in the levies, which were not
Yes.
capped. So that is where the value to get the document read. I know it might, lawyers might cost you a little bit on that front, but I I consider this to be paying the parking ticket rather than paying the charge.
Exactly. It's well worth it. I surely have a practice of doing so. And you brought a very important point. It's not only about condos only where, cooling period is built in. Even for freehold properties, a standard contract can be requested and that can be sent to the lawyer and and reviewed before you actually sign or commit to a contract.
Yeah,
So that is excellent. That is something that I recommend all my viewers, whether you do business with us, my team, or not, irrelevant. It's something that is a must do, where you read the fine line and make sure you do what's required before you sign on the dotted line. Because that will be precedent after that. So
exactly,
before that, a qualified professional like Gurpreet will be able to protect your interest. Once after, unlikely to what, they'll still do whatever they can in their means of the law, but once it's signed, it becomes a precedent after that.
exactly.
So yes, so that is something that we wanted to cover as well. Anything else that you want to add from your experience, or what you are seeing on a day-to-day basis, that you would want my viewers and of course your viewers to know, by all means?
I think in specifically in residential real estate, the most important factor remains whether the contract is firm or not. Anything once the contract is firm, there are no to kind of very less chances to get out of the contract, and law is very clear on that. The courts are very clear on that. So before you form a deal, have it reviewed or have your conversation with your realtor. uh, I would again have a set professional team with you. I know pricing is very important for everybody, and there are people who are kind of giving discounting prices. Both for, I think I can speak for Sunny as well. There are realtors who are giving discounted prices, and there are lawyers who are doing deals at a much cheaper price. But I think we consider the value and not the price. There's a lot of difference in that, and have the most important deal of your lifetime, kind of a rememberable uh, phase of your life, or kind of event, rather than kind of something you don't
Sorrow.
want to remember at all.
Exactly. It could be really sad and sorrow in case, things go haywire. I know we are running out of time quickly. We've been impacted with the way the market is running with assignment sales. How do you see it? What are your recommendations, if any? And then we'll wrap up.
Assignment sale, again, like any other deal, assignments can be, there can be a lot of conditions tailored in an assignment contract. Have, if you're buying a property in assignment, have those conditions in, whether the buyer, a builder would agree to it. uh, that is one of the most important conditions that is there, but sometimes that there's no timeline to it, which is again not good for you. And of every case, this is not a legal advice, every case is different, I'm just talking generally. From a signer point of view, make sure that somebody who's getting into it doesn't leave the contract just because of buyer's remorse. Even for sellers, for assigners, it is very important that even though buyers have, this is buyers market potentially, but have those contracts in a drafted or structured in a way that just because of buyer's remorse, people don't leave the deal, and leaving you
I
assignment is very risky, because if the assigner doesn't close, the signee doesn't close, the assigner has to close.
yeah, there's still legal responsibility on the
Yes.
original. So
Maybe
what?
you can go
Yeah,
after that assignee, go and file a
after.
case, but litigation is expensive.
Yes. So what Gurpreet is trying to say is, suppose I am the original owner and I assign this property to somebody else, and the second person does not close, I am still responsible for the contract, uh, and so on and so forth. So it's very, very essential to have a strong team, whether it's an agent or a lawyer, backing you to protect your interests. So this is, this was very insightful, Gurpreet. Thank you for taking the time. This is something that I have taken on for myself and for your viewers and mine, to make sure that we provide that value add, because there are going to be transactions happening regardless of the market. uh, the point of doing this is to give them the best foot forward. So, at the end of the day, it has to be very fruitful. Real estate, somebody is buying to make sure that they grow their portfolio, grow their families, and to have the best information on their side. So thank you for taking the time. I appreciate you and your team very highly. uh,
Thank you.
we'll see you again and talk to you soon.
Perfect. Thank you so much, Sunny, for giving this opportunity. I think it adds a lot of value for us as well, because an informed client is much better than somebody who doesn't understand it. So we're informing, we're kind of keeping our clients informed and making our life easier as well. So thank
Exactly.
you so much, and we'll see
Thank
you
you.
soon. Thank you.
For sure.
Bye.
Take care. Bye bye.